All right, everybody, welcome back to the Move podcast, brought to you each and every day this summer by Ketone IQ, of course, made by HVMN. We're talking about the Tour de France Femmes, Stage 4. Mel, what do we do?
Quatrième étape, Stage 4. Cahors à Rodez. Cahors à Rodez.
That is just...
Sounds way better when she does it.
It just sounds so good. 177 kilometers, the longest stage ever in a women's Grand Tour, which I think is just incredible.
Really incredible, especially since it...
Hard.
Yeah, very hard, with the most difficult part coming in the last 90K.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, and we saw just tons of action, tons of selection out there on the road. Let's get into all the action. But before we do, as I just mentioned, today's show brought to you by HVMN. HVMN launched the world's first drinkable ketone in 2017. Ketone IQ is their latest innovation on ketones with improved effectiveness, taste, and cost. Ketone IQ delivers clean fuel that can cross the blood-brain barrier, supplying your brain and body sustained energy, focus, and sharpness, putting you in flow, lasting for hours. You can save 30% off your first subscription order of Ketone IQ at hvmn.com/themove. Again, that's hvmn.com/themove. Also today, brought to you by Wahoo.
Wahoo!
Wahoo.
Sorry, I just
Wahoo.
have to do.
The number one bike computer used in the Pro Peloton. The latest release on the Bolt 2 and Roam 2 include Wahoo's new Summit feature, which y'all are going to need Friday.
I don't want to look at that. That's a long climb.
We're riding the Independence Pass, all of us, and so I suggest that you get your Summit feature tuned up. That is actually a bad climb to have the Summit feature. You're like, damn.
I actually like
it's
having
not moving.
that, though.
Like the line on the climb is not moving.
Just ride faster.
Wahoo cycling products are trusted by the Pro Peloton. Special offer for our listeners. Head on over to wahoofitness.com/themove and you get 20% off all full price products during the tour. And the code there is the move at wahoofitness.com/themove. Well, what a nice little comeback for Phoenix Alpecin. Heartbreak yesterday, as we talked about, and just getting caught right at the line. But for Yara Kastelijn, of course, it's always confusing how to pronounce some of these names. But what a win on a very, very tough finale and a tough finish, as we saw.
It was really neat to see them actually get two people on the break. And I wish that our coverage started earlier so that we could actually see how the breakaway developed, because it had a really interesting makeup in there. And they obviously had to be very motivated to get people back in the break again. But interesting that Canyon didn't make that one.
Canyon SRAM did not make the break.
Yeah.
So they're on the front again, and we're like, why? Oh, not in the break.
Punishment.
But it would have been, I wish we could see from the beginning so that we could actually see the people that they were chasing down and why this one, group of 14 was able to get away without a Canyon in there, because it seems like they've been so aggressive that maybe it was, obviously the wrong mix, but they had to have been in there, and then to have missed the big one was kind of surprising to me.
And to give it 10 minutes.
Well, and to give it 10 minutes, yeah.
14 riders, and by the time coverage starts, it has 10 minutes, and Mari and I are looking at each other and like, when in women's cycling do you let a break have 10 minutes? So there were some virtual leaders on the road. Cordana Rigaud was a virtual leader at one point, and a few others. And I just have to get a shout out to my bestie, Corinne Lebecki, was in the break, American rider on Jumbo-Visma. And she had a bad crash yesterday. I talked to her last night. I think her response was, ouch, that was a dumb crash. But she was back in it in a break, and honestly, she looked good. So I'm happy she's not in too much pain.
When I see a break like that, gaining time, 10 minutes, obviously, you think to yourself, well, SD-Worx and Movistar are really confident in their ability to what's going to happen on the day of the Tourmalet, so they weren't afraid to give it time. And that kind of brings it back to the race within the race. Like, there was the race happening against the breakaway, and then there was the race that was going to happen when we got to the more difficult part of the race, when fatigue and all those other things set in, which is obviously what we saw today.
Yeah. I'm going to have to walk back something I said during the men's tour, I think, after watching the first 4 days of this Tour de France Femmes avec Swift. And y'all can we can agree to disagree, but I'm walking back what I said. All right, I said the Wout van Aert is pound for pound the best bike racer in the world. What I'm seeing from Lotte Kopecky, I mean, what does she not do?
Wait, can I do it? It's a lot of more to come. No, I can't do that joke again.
I mean, it's. I mean, maybe she's just having a hell of a week, or this is, but so dominant and such a great, up there for the team in the yellow jersey. Wow. Not
only is she amazingly strong, but she's also so smart tactically about when she's making her attacks. I mean, she definitely goes when there's that moment where people are kind of hesitating or it's been really difficult, and then she gets off the front and then she obviously backs it up, which it's just incredible to watch. And she just keeps doing it over and over again.
Yeah, Mari and I have definitely lost track of how many times Lotte attacked today. And with panache, with just power, she's climbing, she's sending it downhill, full send yellow. And I did read somewhere on Twitter where somebody's like, is it unfair that SD-Worx has the best classics rider, which is Lotte Kopecky, best Ardennes rider, Demi Vollering, best time trialist, Marlene Reusser, and best sprinter, which we know is Weebies.
I mean,
I think that sounds like a great team to me.
I was going to say, I don't think that sounds unfair at all.
I think they did a good job.
Sounds like they picked some damn good riders.
And if you're Demi Vollering, it's just having her there by your side. If anything goes wrong, if you're having a crisis or a bad day, just knowing that she's there and with her strength and her presence, you just cannot underestimate what that would mean for her, who's now shaping up to potentially be the clear favorite. I mean, we'll see what happens on the Tourmalet, but boy, if I were her and it's kind of like me and George, where if whether crosswind comes up or a puncture or anything, just those moments in the race where you're just not there to have somebody right by your side who is going to protect you, literally protect you. Mm-hmm. Unbelievable.
Well, and Marlon also. I mean, Kopecky, incredible in her ability to be able to help and give confidence to Demi. But I think that Marlon definitely shows that she can, she works like a horse up on the front, for Demi. And hearing Lotte talk about the goal of the team and that they're all in for the GC, it's not surprising that they let something kind of more inconsequential go up the road and give it time and then kind of just control stuff until the racing gets super hard. Right. I mean, it's fun to watch.
They also had a teammate in the break, so you had Christine Majoris, who is Luxembourg champion, and a heck of a rider and a great teammate. So they did have somebody up there just in case, monitoring.
That's also unfair.
Oh, so unfair to race your bike.
In Little Rose, I think we all remarked just which I personally love. I mean, I think anytime you have small roads like that, it just makes the racing that much harder. I mean, typically small roads are a little more rural, and we've talked a lot about the pavement, but it just, small roads mean twisty, turny, undulating. And it makes for great viewing. I mean, and just imagine, if we raced on interstates the whole time, it wouldn't be that cool. But like these really small, tight roads, it makes it really dynamic, I think.
Oh, watching Yara take that one left-hand turn into the bridge, I think we were all kind of on the edge of our seat.
So Mari and I didn't know. We figured somebody from the break would survive the strongest. 2, Koster survived. She ended up second. Demi in third place. And Yara Kastelijn, who won, has an interesting background. She's 27 years old. And if you guys remember from stage 1, and I wish we could replay it, but that wet corner, right corner, and she's the one in the break, 1 foot out, missing the turn. Turns out this woman podiums in World Cup cyclocross, and she started road racing early. She was on Rabobank, which now basically is Jumbo-Visma, with the likes of Marianne Vos, Anna van der Breggen was on her team, Pauline Prevot's on her team, and she's training so hard, and she's young, Dutch rider, and she wasn't performing like they thought she could. And so the coaches have her train more and more, and and she's getting overtrained and slower on the bike. And they basically are telling her, not the riders, but the directors or coaches of this team are saying that, she must be lazy. And she said, I'm just going to quit cycling. So she almost quit cycling, and then she comes in and she goes, I'm just going to go back to cyclocross. Get some good results at World Cups. She was the Euro cyclocross champion in 2019. And then she's like, I found joy on the bike again. So for her, being on this Alpecin Fenix team has brought, Fenix.
The other way around.
Yeah. one of those teams. But she's found joy in the bike again. And if you look at it, she's a very good punchy climber. She finished top 10 in Flèche Wallonne this year.
By the way, this is her first professional victory on the road.
And whoa, at the Tour de France, Femmes Zwift, come on.
And the Dutch, you were talking about the Dutch and talking about Dutch teams, first, second, third, and fourth today.
Pretty impressive.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but I really love to see riders excel once you find that balance in training hard, racing hard, having the technical ability. But I'm sure you've been through that through your career. I have too. But if you don't enjoy your team or you're not loving riding your bike, your results don't follow.
That's Donna.
I really liked listening to her post-race interview. I mean, she's adorable. But one of the things that kept coming up was just the attitude of the team, and how they've all been motivated and working together, and they took motivation from yesterday's stage. And I honestly think that once you have that kind of feeling in a team, everyone kind of feeds off of it. And so listening to her talk about it was really cool. And I think that, because we had been mentioning that they had been riding really well as a team anyways. I mean, we had just noticed it. And then to see it pay off today, I thought was pretty incredible.
And what was the Al, you had written down the vert. I mean, I think it's because there's 8,000. I nerd out on these things. I'm sorry. But it was like 8,000 total vert for the day, 8,000 feet, so 2,400 meters, but heavily weighted in the second half of the race, and that was almost 2,000
with progressively steep climbs.
Yeah, steep
to the finish.
Yeah, the last 96 kilometers, there's a little over 1,800 meters of climbing. Yeah. So it was very heavily weighted late. So you can see the break established early because you're kind of rolling,
right? And
the teams knew what was to come. But the other favorite part of Yara's interview, she's so excited. It seems like that team, being a smaller team in the Tour, working well together, missed out on a win yesterday. Get the win today. And she's like, she had a teammate though in the break. And she's like, in the radio, my director says, don't make friends. You are not here to make friends, which it's hard. I mean, it's hard for me and George. Like, we like to make friends.
Oh, forget that. This is ladies and men, whoever's listening, this is the Tour de France. You can be friends next week. You can be friends in 3 weeks. No, stop with this coffee stuff in the mornings at the Village Depart. No, we don't have any friends for this week. Mm-hmm. I love this guy already, or gal. Whoever said it, I love him.
She has a good coach.
Yeah, so she was able to save some energy and have confidence that she did not need to make friends in that breakaway. And then when she launched her attack, only one rider could follow her, which was she got married. Sorry, Audrey, who is missing her French national stripes on her jersey, which is really bumming me out. I know.
And what do we make of course, this is just like the men's race. It's really a two-women's race. Mm-hmm. Demi Vollering and Annemiek van Vleuten. And George kept going on this thing during the men's. Well, if this is a boxing match, round two was a tie. And
well, I think
if this was a round of a boxing match, I think Demi Vollering obviously got a little, Well, I think you get more than anything, you get the mental advantage of having dropped somebody. She also got time, and she got a time bonus.
I mean, I think it's really, really good for Demi, her confidence in this, because it seems like she's a kind of an emotional rider anyways. So I think that she probably feeds off of that kind of energy. But I did see, like, Movistar did make a really good attack at one point where they put everyone into the gutter and basically split the group, which I didn't expect to see from the Movistar team. Typically when Annemiek goes, she goes on her own when it's hard. And but her team definitely tried to set her up for that. And she also attacked Demi one time really well in the final kilometers where Demi looked like she was really under pressure. So I don't know. I think it's going to be a good battle in the, once we get to the Tourmalet for sure.
Obviously very different climbs. I mean, these are 2-3 minute efforts versus an hour.
Right.
It's very, very, very different.
And I also thought that Annemiek started maybe from too far back in the sprint into the finish too. I was wondering why she was sitting, and you commented not to let Annemiek be farther back to get the jump, but I think maybe she was too far back.
Well, she's not known to be super explosive over, it has a little descent into that kicker, and I think she had my former teammate, Celia Gutierrez, who races for Movistar now, is former national champion of Spain, and she was there helping, leading out. for Annemiek to attack, and that is where I thought Demi was under pressure. But then Demi regained composure, and I think this is where we all disagree with the announcers. That Demi did not. I don't think Demi thought she won. I just think she was proud of her team effort. She got some seconds. She got a time bonus. And I think she was just like, thank heavens the stage is over, and I'm just itching away at the...
And they kept the jersey.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. I just keep thinking back to the Worlds last year where she's broke her elbow or had this pretty serious crash, and she did make a run at them. Now that's a little bit. It was obviously it's a different race and a different type of run at them, but I just thought, boy, don't if you're Demi Vollering, you don't want to let that happen again. No. But she didn't. Mm-mm. She didn't. Before we talk about tomorrow's action, unless I missed something for today.
No, I think we're pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah. You can read that fun tweet about when we talk about tomorrow's action. Today's show also brought to you by AG1, our daily foundational nutrition supplement that supports whole body health. Every single person sitting up here and every single person on this crew literally drink it every day. We all gave it a try because we were tired of taking so many supplements and wanted a single solution that supports my entire body and covers our nutritional bases every day. I wanted better gut health. Let me say that again. I wanted better gut health, a boost in energy, immune system support. Hated taking vitamins and pills, and I wanted a supplement that actually tastes great. I also closely follow a bunch of these smart propeller heads like Peter Attia and Andrew Huberman. Just ask them. I'll tell you, this is the thing to do. And at the end of the day, it is about taking control of your health, right? For less than $3 a day. If a comprehensive solution is what you need from your supplement routine, then try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D and 10 free AG1 travel packs. All you have to do is head on over to drinkag1.com/themove. That's drinkag1.com/themove. By the way, and if you're watching the show on YouTube, I can't even look up at the screen. Allie made me wear this bike hat. I believe I wore it last year.
You look great.
I'm not even looking over there. I mean, I like bike hats, but I have a fat head, and so whoever made the hat, Swift or whoever Zwift had, just give me a slightly larger one.
People love it, though. I mean, I've gotten so many requests about where to get it.
No, they're dope, for sure, but I just need a slightly bigger one. I have a very fat head.
Yeah, if you guys are looking for a Watch the Femme hat, check out Zwift's website or just DM me and I'll try to hook you guys up. Also, my shoes. You missed a good night last night because I told you
I was in Tulsa.
In our little house, see, I have my roomie Liz, and so she dressed me this morning, gave her some shoes. I made her dinner last night, and then we all crashed Bolch's house, which I think he has his own house, so he doesn't have to interact with us.
Oh, he's out back.
Yeah, but we all went up there and had it stays here type of conversation. So
I'm sure he loved that.
I think he said his bedtime. But looking at those results today, too, a reminder, the women's national team in soccer play Netherlands today. So they're ready, the second highest soccer match recorded as viewership's ever happening. So we're looking at a battle on the course here, the Tour de France Femmes avec Zwift, but also good national team. Yeah. And fun fact, I went to high school with Megan Rapinoe.
Oh, wow.
I know. Good in Redding, California. Who would have thought? Mm-hmm.
Wow. And she was a badass in high school, I take it?
Oh, yeah. I mean, she just traveled so much playing soccer. I played tennis, so we didn't really hang out a ton. But her and her twin sister, Rachel.
Awesome.
But anyway, looking to tomorrow. Stage 5.
What's in store tomorrow?
So we're looking at a lot of ups and downs. Probably difficult to control, but also there's not. Do we have this? Yes, there it is. Look at this. It's lumpy.
I agree with you. Lumpy.
It's a shorter stage though, at 126K, give or take, 0.1. But it's going to be difficult to control, but when we also look at future stages, some GC battles are coming on hot. So there's only a limited amount of teams that have potential to win. So I think, as Mari and I were discussing earlier, a lot of teams will, not just Lotte's team, a lot of teams will be looking for stage wins. And there is a strong potential of crosswinds. So the men's Tour de France actually raced this. And if for those that are a big Thibaut Pinot fan, he lost 100 seconds in this stage, which didn't look technical, but lost 100 seconds in a crosswind and all his GC ambitions.
Awesome.
So
I see a breakaway going again. This is actually a fun time to read because if you're this Peloton, I mean, and we just had somebody just commented, isn't this unfair with this team? But I don't think so. But here we are. They have that team. They have the team they have. It is, and Demi Vollering showed her strength today. Got the confidence. It's their race to carry and support. And we had a fun tweet that you came across, Sally.
So this tweet is from my friend Chloe Hosking. She is an Olympic cyclist for Australia. Just started her own bike brand company. That's we just were hanging out in Finland at Finland Gravel. There, she's good friends with Tiff Cromwell and your friend Valtteri Bottas. So we were out there racing gravel with her. But anyway, she's won a lot of races. One of the world's best sprinters. Unfortunately, her team folded, and she was on a Lidl Trek last year and had a hard time finding a contract. But I laughed so hard when I read her tweet. So when I was young, I would never put my dishes in the dishwasher. Mom would do it and then tell me I should do it. But she did it, so I didn't. One day she stopped and I had no clean dishes. So I started loading the dishwasher. In conclusion, the Peloton should let SD-Worx chase. Chloe, chapeau. That makes us laugh, and you couldn't have said it better.
Right.
Well, it makes you laugh, but at the same time, SD-Worx is riding a very smart race. They're not using energy when they don't have to. Lotte Kopecky is attacking and maybe using some energy, but does it in really strategic places. I think, it's hard to argue with the tactics of SD-Worx. And they don't have to.
Well, they're getting away with it.
Well, they're getting away. But, what are they going to? But what else other people want to win stages too?
Today,
And I think we'll
smart
see.
of them to put a rider in the break today.
Yeah,
that gives you some cover.
Well, we'll see. I mean, tomorrow will be like similar, and maybe they do let something, go where the break actually gets something. But you can't argue with it.
By the way, amazing crowds at the finish today too. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you all noticed that. I mean, it was stacked. You had people on the hillside there. You had people up on the hill. I love seeing that.
No, it's great. But I think that the main goal tomorrow, according to Chloe, will be if these women are going to let their mom put their dishes in the dishwasher, figure out what responsibility they need to do to at least go for a stage win it. Because GC might be a battle between Movistar and SD-Worx, but there are a lot of opportunities for...
Feels like a new We Do team, maybe. Put your dishes away or something.
Clean your dishes away.
Yeah, clean the dishes.
The only one I came up with, this stays here. Do you guys all know that? This stays here.
Yeah, that's right. We have a couple of comments here and a question and then one other fun thing. Actually, we have another fun thing. We'll get to Jonas in a second here. They had a celebration in Denmark yesterday. Well, not yet, but a few people came out for that one. Speaking of crowds, I think it's cool to see just how he was received back home. This we pulled off YouTube. So this, golly gee, Alan Nolgren says, this is, so Lance and the gang at the Move, I think I can help out a bit. I'm an American, originally from Oregon, but more recently residing in Denton, Texas.
I know Denton.
That's right. So do I. Not so far from Plano, where I grew up. He said, I moved to France along with my British wife and our young children in 1993. Thus, I've been living in France, in the south of France, for 30 years now. I thought he lived in Denton. Anyways, on pronouncing the word that we keep screwing up, femmes,
I don't know.
or femme in the singular, it's not what you think it's not what you think you're looking at. In fact, it rhymes with wham, slam. Thank you, ma'am. That's what he says. I mistakenly pronounced it in my early years in France, as it appears, rhyming with him, as in the hem in your shirt. After being corrected a half dozen times, I changed my ways. There's no explaining in purely logical terms how words are pronounced in a given language. As they say in English, why is there laughter and slaughter? Whoa, that was a little dark.
Yeah.
All right, and then Chris Strider. This is a good one.
Oh, no.
He's talking about Marianne Rousseau, actually.
Okay.
Surgeon and cyclist. These women are overachieving. Rob Calderwood, 7408, says, I need a line of pajama pants called Lancy pants. I don't know, Rob. I don't know.
As long as they're not those little Kung Fu pirate ones you were wearing.
What?
Well, I have a parting gift for you when you leave. No, actually, I have a parting gift for Blaze. Okay, here's a question from Eric in Bozeman, Montana. This is a good question. Thank you so much for covering the Tour de France Femmes. Wham, bam. Thank you, man. All right, fam. Anyways.
I studied French for a lot of years. I can speak French.
I really appreciate how Mari and Ali give backstories of the riders. I'm learning about so many fascinating personalities in the women's peloton. Lamborghini is my favorite. If you're taking questions for the podcast, I'm wondering, this is a good question, is there differences between men's and women's bikes, and if women's bikes use any novel technologies?
So my preface on this is I think that you should make differences for gender where it matters. So as far as bike geometry, some women are taller, some men are taller, some men and women are shorter. So as far as geometry, you find the best geometry for your specific build and physiology. Some people have longer legs, shorter torsos. So I don't think gender differences need to be made on the bikes. When you're looking at who's not in the tour, but a Gaia Railini, who is 4'11", I mean, it's hard to find a bike small enough for a rider that needs to ride that aggressive. But when you're also looking, though, for other gender-specific things that might be different, like bar width is all the same, too, because it's rider preference. Chamois, to me, is a big thing. Like, I like my chamois, which I call it free to pee. Like, has it got a magnetic closure? You can pull it down.
Whoa.
No, but that's a thing. Because you guys can just pull it out. You have external plumbing.
Whoa. This is a G-rated show.
Anyway, so like for the chamois, though, there's just different build down there, which is not unknown to anybody sitting at this table or listening to the podcast. So I've worked a lot. When you are a fan of one of the specialized saddles that I've worked a lot with for over 7 years on a saddle, so where you can make differences to support soft tissue and still have bone structure. So my opinion is just make the changes where it matters, and there's not much until you're looking at chamois, saddles, and then all the geometry. You're still just a skeleton, human bone, so fit the bike the best way you can. But having the option to pull down those shorts and pee and not
I would
disrobe,
also add to
you.
that, like the reach on the brakes.
The brake.
Yeah,
the brake,
like
the
I mean, women
actual
have
brake lever.
women have smaller hands typically, so adjusting the reach is another thing that really helps out.
Yeah. So,
And this is not sponsor correct for the show, but SRAM does do a very good reach adjust.
right, where you can just throw.
But I'm going to tell you, my hands are like 3 times bigger than Cap's hands, right? Like,
Okay, well.
there's a Seinfeld episode on it, so we all.
Well, that's why we can adjust those. And then we got another fun note. Of course, we did the trivia during the men's tour, and there was a bunch of great questions, like trivia questions, and a lot of them were, some were easy, a lot of them were really hard. But we had a winner every day, and then we drew a final winner at the end for somebody who's going to win a brand new Ventum NS1, and the fellow who won is this guy Graham. It just says Graham. I forget your last name, Graham. Sorry about that, but this is good. He said, I watched the final Tour de France podcast on Sunday night, and I nearly spit out my beer when Lance read out my name. Aww. My family have played that clip over and over again, and it really has given us so much joy. To say I'm thrilled with the win is an understatement of the year. The NS1 is a dream bike for me. I used to cycle regularly when I was younger, but this has slowed down as I became immersed in my career and family. Those are 2 really good reasons, Graham. I took up early retirement 3 years ago, and this allowed me to rekindle my cycling passion and have been cycling regularly since then. Cycling in England is tough as you're either battling with the rain, the wind, the cold, or the dark nights, but having an NS1 will keep me inspired to ride through the seasons and ultimately and hopefully keep me happy, healthy, and strong.
I love that.
That is amazing. Yeah, that's who should win. Graham, you should have won. Dang it.
So glad that.
I wonder which, or he probably maybe got more than one question.
I have to just go back really quick on the difference on the women's equipment thing. So I think when I said make difference where it matters, I think a lot of times in our industry prior, and this is not specific to cycling, but it's snowboarding and whatever. And it's like shrink it and pink it. Like they're like, make it small, make it feminine. And so I think that's where we look at taking a curve of what a human skeleton looks like and just making sure that somebody like a 4'11" to a 6'9" rider has the right equipment at the like level of professionalism that fits their body and needs.
Yeah.
So I guess there should be differences, but I don't think it's specific for women. Is it just different body types and builds?
Shrink it and pink it wouldn't have worked on today's stage, 177 kilometers. We need the real one. We need the real stuff. All right, as we head out of the show, let's just a clip of Jonas, and again, congrats to him. This is cool. Look at this. I love seeing this
That's
stuff.
awesome.
I mean, hello.
Oh, look, he has so many friends.
He has got.
I don't even think he wants friends, but he has a lot of friends.
He has a lot of. I tell you,
It's so many, it looks fake.
Did you see that he
amazing.
stopped by?
I didn't even know there was that many people in Denmark. Jesus.
Did you see that he stopped by Wout's house and gave him a little yellow jersey? Because
did he?
Wout did have his child.
And he was probably there for one of the post-tour crits. And that's great.
Yeah, it was really cute. It's a really cute photo. They're just like in front of Wout's house, holding up a jersey, which I'm not sure was meant for the infant or Jonas, but same.
Right.
It was a very small looking yellow jersey.
I just gave you one of these I wore around for a week or so. All right. Well, thanks for tuning in, everybody. We'll see y'all tomorrow for stage 5.
Oh, man, we're going to have a fun day.
Yeah.
What do you think, Lance? Break?
I think a break goes.
Mari?
I think it's going to be a sprint.
I mean, I would love to see a sprint, but I look at the profile.
I think there's going to be a break, but I think it's going to come back. That's my prediction.
Okay, well, that's why you all have to tune in tomorrow to see what do you think, Allie?
Oh, I'm going to go with a break. A break of some classics.
Yeah. Well, tune in tomorrow. We'll talk all about it. See y'all later.
Who knows what I make Liz tonight for dinner?
Okay, and on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Bye. Watch the bomb.